Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening, everyone. The West Tamar Highway has been a scene of misery and despair following a tragic crash which killed 2 people near Exeter. Others involved in the smash spent the night in hospital with serious injuries. Thankfully, they've now been discharged. And a warning, the footage may be confronting to some viewers.
A grim trail of groceries leads to the condemned Ford Falcon. The learner driver at the wheel had lost control, smashing into the barrier on the wrong side of the road. Then a Toyota Hiace van heading the other way. The impact killed a 75-year-old woman in the Falcon's front seat and a 45-year-old man in the back, both from Georgetown and family members of the 20-year-old behind the wheel.
We've had way too many fatalities lately here in the north.
It's Tasmania's 3rd double fatality in just 6 weeks. The drivers of both vehicles survived but spent the night in hospital, having sustained serious injuries. Conditions on the West Tamar Highway were terrible, with heavy rain pounding the road.
Most of these crashes we're going to are very unfortunate and have a huge impact on the community and the emergency services people who attend.
Police are pleading with motorists to take care as the state's road toll rises to 25.
Unfortunately, I'm believing it's going to be 6 over where we were this time last year.
Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
The state government is expected to open Tasmania's borders to the Northern Territory at midnight tomorrow. Meanwhile, locals are being asked to have their say on carrying an electronic vaccine passport. Advocacy group Health Consumers Tasmania has launched a survey to gauge the level of public support for the idea.
This is a passport that I had to have to travel internationally probably about 30 years ago. They're not new, but for us it's about how do you apply them in Tasmania.
The survey is open until September the 4th. Hoping the upcoming state budget will be music to its ears, a peak business group is eager to swap what it called an Enya budget last year for a more daring AC/DC style approach this time around. High on the Tasmanian Chamber of Commerce and Industry's wish list, infrastructure, but not necessarily more money straight up.
If we spend it all at once, what will happen is that we'll get a boom and bust cycle, and we'll probably have to bring in workers from other places to actually do the jobs. We want those jobs to go to Tasmanians.
Restructuring TAFE funding is also on the TCCI's agenda. Budget day is Thursday. Meanwhile, here in Tasmania, around 500 people have gathered at Parliament lawns, calling for more to be done to help those now left trapped in Afghanistan.
A sea of green, red and black. The Afghan flag flows in Hobart, hundreds calling for more to be done to help those left trapped. Signs reading "Speak Up for Afghanistan" and "Tazara Lives Matter."
This rally is being held in support of Afghanistan and also to basically create an awareness for the society that what's happening over there.
Haji Alizada is one of many Tasmanians who has family in Afghanistan.
They don't know what's going to happen tomorrow in their lives. They're thinking that, will they be alive tomorrow? Will they live another day? They're living day by day.
Fatima Ibrahimi travelled from Launceston for the rally. She has family in Afghanistan who live in constant fear.
Every minute, every day, every night, all the dreams are all about them. We need to do some things to help them to come out from Afghanistan.
Hundreds have gathered on the lawns of Parliament. Andrew Wilkie, just one of the many speakers throughout the day, calling on the Australian government to do more.
I'm talking tens of thousands of places being made available to resettle not just the Hazara community in Australia, but all of the other at-risk and minority groups.
To evacuate all those people, our family, our loved, all those innocent people, all those women, children that are really at risk of death.
A desperate plea from a community running out of time. Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
Christmas has come early for Australia's Antarctic expeditioners. Critical supplies have been dropped off at Mawson Station by the Australian Defence Force in a complex airdrop.
A delicate mission months in the making to resupply Australia's most remote research station on Antarctica.
Mawson Station is thousands of kilometres away from Australia. It's one of the most remote places on the planet. And at this time of the year, access is almost impossible.
The operation aided by the Australian Defence Force. Parachutes washed, aired out and packed. Bundles put together here in Tasmania, a mission in itself taking almost a week, before being transferred to Perth, and the next stop, Mawson Station. The RAAF C-17 refuelling mid-air to complete the 15-hour round trip.
Steady. We needed to be plugged to the aircraft for 22 minutes, which is quite a taxing ordeal.
Saying disconnect. Cool, good disconnect.
The frozen continent barely visible from the air.
It was quite difficult to pick out fine details of the drop zone.
First ensuring no wildlife were in the way.
In this instance, Mawson Station personnel ranged around the drop zone safely to shoo away any stray animals, potentially penguins or otherwise, that might get in the way in the middle of the night. 23 loads of cargo weighing more than 9,500 kilograms ready for delivery. It dropped at Mawson Research Station in near total darkness, and the aircrew did a fantastic job and put it exactly where it needed to be.
The packages filled with critical supplies, scientific equipment and most importantly, letters from home.
Seeing this airdrop of food and supplies come down, it's really like Christmas in August for all of them.
18 expeditioners all receiving a little piece of home. Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian community groups can access state government funding to purchase life-saving medical equipment. $500,000 is available to help purchase defibrillators. Experts say the portable devices can have a big impact in preventing death from cardiac arrest.
Every minute counts when somebody has an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest, so the sooner we can get a defibrillator onto somebody, either in the skilled hands of a paramedic or indeed in the hands of a first responder through a community access program, will save lives.
Applications can be made through the Ambulance Tasmania website. She couldn't read confidently until Year 9 and dropped out in Year 12. But today, East Devonport's Kendall Sylvester was the toast of UTAS, defying the odds to become the first in her family to graduate from university.
I didn't have the confidence in myself. The university supported me, and now I've got that confidence to keep going forward. I never thought I'd be able to achieve it, and I have. I'm super proud.
She was among 1,400 students receiving their parchment today at ceremonies at Launceston's Albert Hall. Getting Tasmania's next generation interested in science was the focus of an event in Hobart today. The Festival of Bright Ideas, using a number of different activities to showcase science and encourage children to study the increasingly important subject.
From chemistry to circuits, robotics through to race cars, science has played a part in their development.
Some of the things that people find really interesting to them, they may not even be aware that it's actually science that underpins that.
After hosting schools yesterday, the Festival of Bright Ideas opened its doors to people of all ages today. Businesses and educators coming together to show how science impacts our daily lives.
We're trying to showcase science and the impact that it has on people's lives in a way that people can understand and engage with.
Dominic College students also helping in the education process. For some, today is a gateway to a future career.
I'm looking to be an electrical engineer specialising in electronics.
I like physical science and biology are my favourite ones.
This UTAS PhD candidate used the stage to discuss insects and break down some of the myths surrounding them.
It's only about 5 or 6 species of invasive pest insects that have made that really negative impression.
Organisers hoping to inspire young minds to help solve some of our great challenges.
It's going to have a big impact on our lives, and ultimately it's going to be science and scientists that actually determine a bright future for us.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Preparation is now well and truly underway for this year's Taste of Summer Festival, and a call will soon be put out statewide for stallholders. In a new approach, the newly appointed Food and Drink Curator will work directly with operators to create a new offering unique to the event.
We're looking that this will become cult dishes that then can
resonate out across the state, to be seen on menus and in pubs and clubs all around.
The major building blocks have been set. This is a major announcement today that we're making, and we can't wait to get on with it.
Taste plates are also expected to be on the menu, showcasing the best dishes from each stall.
Clarence broke away from a spirited North Hobart in the final round of the TSL season. Colin Garland booted 6 to see the Roos skip away in the second half. Not the result Paul Kennedy was after in the North. His Pies belted at the hands of North Launceston by more than 10 goals. And the absence of big names meant nothing to the Blues. Their charge into September looks good. Like the footy you'd see on old videotapes, a wet and muddy Windsor Park kept the ball close to ground, but the Blues rose above the quagmire to snatch the early lead. Jack Donnellan followed up, booting his first of 3 for the day, but when combat was at close range, it wasn't pretty. Still, the Blues found ways to score. Lauderdale had to delegate to its former Lion Alan Christensen to get on the board. It was a good old-fashioned slog. Even the ever-classy Jay Blackberry was content with a blue-collar goal. The minor premier escaping unscathed with an 83-point win. For Lauderdale, it's season over. There were plenty more Goal of the Year contenders at UTAS Stadium.
Oh, Leary might have kicked a goal here. He has. What a fantastic goal by Brandon Leary.
What Brandon's boomerang had in swing, Nathan Pearce had in power.
For goal, Nathan Pearce for his second. He's got it.
Paul Kennedy implored his men for more, but only Harrison Gunther was scoring. In fact, the VFL signing kicked 4 of his team's 5 goals. Brad Cox-Goodger added some icing to the cake with a late check side through the middle. His mind now on an all-Northern semi-final. Glenorchy left to rue a second successive season outside finals. And with pride to play for, there's no denying North Hobart had a crack in its last game for the year, although it only kept Clarence in check for the first half. Colin Garland broke the game open with 6. And while Jack McCulloch had his side screaming with an impressive long-range shot later in the game, the D's had to settle for 35 points in the red. Clarence will host the Tigers in the first week of finals. Cripps Waratah has survived today's elimination final in State League netball. The physical contest saw the Arrows centre winded after a clash near the goal circle. Her absence hurt the whole team. Arrows faded in the last quarter, handing Cripps Waratah a 43 to 28 point win. The Northern Hawks and Cavaliers play in their semi-final tonight. In the NPL, Glenorchy's title chances have suffered a massive blow after being held to a scoreless draw by Olympia. The Knights dominated the contest and created numerous chances. However, they were unable to break down the Warriors' defence on their way to dropping 2 vital points. Elsewhere, 3 first-half goals helped South Hobart to a comfortable 4-0 win over Clarence, while Kingborough defeated the winless Riverside Olympic 4-2. There's been double delight for Nathan Ellis. 24 hours after being named as a reserve in the national T20 squad, the Hobart Hurricanes paceman has landed a deal with the Punjab Kings for the remainder of the IPL. Teams will finalise their squads in the coming days, but some contracted players like Tasmanian Riley Meredith are not expected to return. The competition was suspended in May when COVID became rampant in India. Alex Peroni's first taste of America's oval circuits has ended under caution. A crash forced a safety car out with 16 laps to go in the Indy Lights race in Illinois. The Tasmanian finished 5th after the checkered flag was waved early. He's 8th on the overall standings.
Good evening everyone. Hobart 17 degrees today, 15 in Launceston, 16 in Burnie and Devonport a top of 14. Maria Island had the state's top temperature with 18 degrees today, Bushy Park and Smithton 16, 15 degrees for the islands St Helens and Grove, 13 in Strawn and Lyowini a top of 8. Low-level clouds streamed into the west of the state today, creating mountain waves over the east of Tasmania. Further out, cloud extended across central Australia to a frontal system in the Tasman Sea, and low-level cloud moved over the south of the country. Tomorrow shows a cold front over the Southern Ocean, approaching Tasmania, while a weak ridge remains over most of the rest of the country. Winds north to northwesterly 20 to 30 knots tomorrow, reaching 35 knots in the west in the afternoon and evening. Swells 3 to 4 metres in the west and south and below 1 metre elsewhere. A gale warning is in place for western waters from southeast Cape to Stanley, and a strong wind warning for remaining coastal waters and also the southwest and central plateau lakes. A flood watch is also current for north, northwest and northeastern river catchments. Hobart 18 and possible showers tomorrow, 19 degrees in Richmond, showers increasing in Ouse. 15 and showers for Launceston, showers too for Deloraine and Devonport. 14 in Burnie, becoming windy in Strawn with 15 degrees, Curry 16 and increasing showers. In St Helens, a shower or two and 14, partly cloudy for Swansea and mostly sunny and 17 in Whitemark. Looking ahead to Monday now, showers with possible small hail contracting to the west, south and northeast during the afternoon. More showers on Tuesday in the west and far south with widespread morning frost. And showers in the east and south with snowfall above 700 metres on Wednesday, mostly fine elsewhere. Taking a look around the country now, Perth partly cloudy and 18, mostly sunny and 21 in Melbourne, Brisbane sunny as well and 26 and 25 in Sydney. And currently Hobart mostly cloudy and 12 degrees, Launceston 11 and partly cloudy and 12 in Devonport. And that's the weather tonight, Lou.